What's poppin', Westchester? I'm Franjez. It's a long list of what I do, but in a nutshell, I love food reviews, I'm a YouTuber, and I have a podcast that I drop every Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Well, thanks for joining me in your studio.
Thank you for being the first official host recording a session in the Yonkers studio.
I love that this is your brand new podcast and you don't even get to host the first episode.
How generous am I,
I
right?
love it. Seriously. Seriously.
Oh, I love it.
Well, thanks for having me and thanks for coming on my podcast.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
It's payback.
Yeah. Yours is still a hit. It's still hitting.
Still. It's because the appeal of the host. I'll say that.
Oh, I appreciate that. I think it was your stories.
Maybe. We'll see.
The wrestling stories were incredible.
So talk to me a little bit about you. I think I'm easier because you could do a deep dive on Google. A lot of people just Googling me randomly besides myself. But like about you, like, first of all, what's your name?
Francisco Jerez. That's where Franjez comes from.
Okay.
So it's Fran from Francisco, and the last name is Jerez. So I just put the J-E-Z at the end of Fran, and it's pretty unique. I want it to be unique.
Yeah. You definitely are, and prolific, and we'll get into all of that.
Thank you.
Because, man, you churn out content like a Kardashian, man. But far more sexier, too, I should add.
Like that.
Yeah. But, so what's your background? You grew up in Yonkers?
Born and raised in Yonkers.
Okay.
Both parents are Dominican immigrants, so I'm the first generation Dominican. And yeah, born and raised in Yonkers and still there. I love Yonkers. It's home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the appeal of like being born, raised, and still in Yonkers? What's the biggest appeal for Yonkers?
You know, like anywhere, anyone that's born and raised somewhere, it's home to you. So that's what it is. No matter where I was born, I think I was going to love it because, and this is what I used to say, I haven't really thought too much about it lately, but it's like I know where everything is. I know what time everything opens and closes. That's what makes it home. I know everything, not everyone, I don't know a lot of people, but stores, businesses, parking, police. I just know how everything works in Yonkers. So since it's home, I feel most comfortable here.
What's changed the most in Yonkers since like when you were a kid to now? Like, I mean, I'm older than you, so I could tell you a whole bunch of things like just Cross County alone. I mean, I can't even recognize Cross County from when I grew up. Yeah. Maybe it's the same with you. I don't know. Cross County has changed drastically. But like
Cross County, Central Avenue. Yeah, I was always into shopping and like just going to stores and looking at the, not flyers, what do they call it? Circulars?
Yeah, circulars.
So yeah, Caldors, Bradley's, you know, it's just the turnover on stores is maybe the biggest difference.
I remember Alexander's before Bradley's.
Oh, that's before my time.
Yeah.
So also, I feel like there was a point in time when Yonkers had a lot of murders and a lot of fires for some real weird reason.
Yeah.
The fires sound more
slogan,
like scams. Yeah, right?
Come to Yonkers.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So that was a big difference. I feel like murders barely happen. It used to happen maybe once a month at one point. Fires, many fires, and lately it's been a lot of peace, a lot more unity, a lot less violence, a lot less catastrophic things, more just community stuff.
Yeah. Where'd you go to school?
High school, Gorton.
Gorton. Okay.
Yeah. Middle school was, wow, I forgot the name. Mark Twain.
I went to Mark Twain.
No way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, cool.
You used to swim?
No.
No way.
No.
Was the pool there back then?
So the pool was there. So Mark Twain with me is a little weird because I went to Mark Twain Elementary School.
Oh.
And in fourth grade, they were like, guess what? We're closing. And we're only going to be in middle school. So I like left there. We gave my great grandmother's, I hope I don't get busted for this, my great grandmother's address. And we went to school in the Bronx. I went to school in the Bronx for 2 years.
Junior high school years?
Huh?
Junior high school years?
Junior high, yeah. So, well, actually like 5th and 6th. And then went back to Mark Twain, 7th and 8th. So.
There you go.
Yeah, but you know, Mark Twain. Yeah. I was there too. Yeah.
Yeah, they had the pool there, and it was like a month out of the school year, that was your gym class.
Cool.
Learn how to
So
swim and
no,
stuff.
so I didn't. So maybe that wasn't an option. Trying to think. I don't think it was an option. If it was, I would have known because I was a heavy seventh grader, and I would totally have cut gym class every single day. so probably wasn't an option back then. Cool. Okay. So, and what career path did you go on? Obviously,
Oh, man.
obviously you
The
and
worst.
you and I are like in the content creation and interviewing people and whatever world. But like growing up, it's not like you set out and been like, oh, I want to do a YouTube page. So
I wanted to be a wrestler. As a kid,
Get out.
WWF was my life.
okay, same.
I wanted to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
And then the older I got, the more I realized it's not easy at all.
Well, like who did you want to be?
Myself, just create my own character. But like if I
who
were
did
to
you look
compare
up
myself,
to? Yeah.
Shawn Michaels was big for me.
Okay.
So I was into jumping, not too high flyer, nothing
Okay.
too dangerous, but I'm okay with jumping from.
Did you actually do it? Did you?
No.
So you didn't do backyard wrestling or anything?
Oh, that stuff. Yeah, I think
Okay.
they're like really
Oh,
like
no, no, no,
professional,
no.
like what are they called? I guess they're gyms, professional wrestling gyms.
Yeah, yeah,
I never
yeah.
tried an official one,
Okay.
but backyard wrestling. Yeah, me and my brother and our friends, we
Yeah.
have so many tapes. Absolutely.
Did you have a name?
Yeah.
What was your
My
name?
first name was Cosmic Killer.
Okay.
I was like 10 years old and came up
That
with
was
that
back.
name.
That was back when Yonkers had a lot of murderers. Sorry.
Yeah,
So it was
Where,
appropriate.
I don't know where the name came up, but it sounded good.
Okay, I like
And,
it.
Yeah. I don't
Nice.
know why, but Cosmic Killer.
Okay. Okay. And okay, so obviously wrestling wasn't panning out.
Yeah, I realized it's very difficult to become a professional
Yeah.
wrestler. And then I wanted to do computers, but I didn't want to. I learned that being in computers, you're always going to be learning. You're always going to be in school because technology keeps progressing.
Yep.
So I was young and lazy, and I'm like, I hate school. I don't want to be in school forever. So I ended up taking the easy way out, and I became a correction officer.
Wow.
New York State correction officer, 8.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was that like?
Most horrible thing in the world.
Yeah.
I was only working in maximum security prison, so it was the worst of the worst. It was the cuttings, it was the attempted suicides, it was everything.
Wow.
Everything you could think of.
I feel like that's something too that. Okay, so you're like kind of mysterious anyway. I feel like. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Intentional?
Yeah, social media is a weird place, so I
Yeah.
don't put all of my life on there.
Right.
So you'll never see my family members or any of that. So yeah, I'm a little mysterious. Yeah.
Okay. But on the flip side, that period doesn't exactly sound awesome. So maybe you don't want to share that either.
I like sharing it because it was such an impact on my life.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's traumatizing or what, but I can relate a lot of that lifestyle to the real world because prison is the real world jam-packed into a few walls with, let's say, 1,000 people. But it's the same situation. Everybody has to eat. Everybody has to sleep. There's medical. There's everything. There's visits. There's phones. There's television. So there's everything we get out here, but more compacted and more restricted.
Right.
So when I finally left, because it clicked, like, I don't want to waste my time locked away, freedom and our time is more valuable than money. So that's how I eventually started seeing it. I'm here for a paycheck, but I'm locked in just like them, and nobody wants to be in here. So after I left, a lot started clicking, like mindset-wise. Like the way somebody reacts in there, they cannot react that way in the real world. So I started relaying both worlds, and I realized I use a lot of examples from prison in real life. So I actually like the memories of it. I'm just glad I'm not there anymore.
How long ago did you leave?
2019 January, and I started August 2010.
Wow. What was it like going home each day?
What do you mean, like?
Like carrying that with you?
Oh, I was back then. I'd say an alcoholic, but I wasn't an alcoholic where I just wanted and needed to drink all day. I was into the nightlife, the partying.
Yeah.
So they go hand in hand. So I was
Right.
drinking every night. Thinking back, I was definitely numbing something that was going on inside me, but I don't know exactly what it was.
Well, that's a lot to take.
It's a lot to take.
You probably see so much shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's tough. It's very tough.
Yeah.
It's just like the movies.
Yeah. But you
Acting's
still
worse.
Yeah, and you still live with it, no?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like more in a positive way now.
Right.
I accept it and I learned from it, and it was like working inside of a movie every day. And before I became a CO, one of my favorite movies was Blood In, Blood Out.
Yeah.
You've seen it? And there's very graphic, detailed prison
Yeah.
scenes. And I was always infatuated with prison before I became a CO.
Yeah.
Like, man, like it's crazy in there.
Yeah.
And I like all the gang stuff and
Yeah.
all the violence and all the mind games and all that stuff. And it's cool. Oz, I loved Oz.
Yeah.
So I guess I idolized the prison life a little bit. So when the idea came up, mind you, it was a best friend of mine's wife's sister's brother-in-law, I guess. He was a CO, and one day he
Okay.
just told me like, hey, why don't you just take the test, see what happens? And I thought of it like, yeah, sure, I'm doing nothing else. I don't plan on going to college. I didn't really want to. I didn't want a job that I needed school for. I didn't know what I wanted actually.
Right.
But in the meantime, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take a test, see what happens. And
And there you go.
it's very easy to pass because they want anybody. They'll take anybody.
What made you stay there for so long?
They make it very comfortable for you. No CO loves the job. They all hate it. They all complain. When I say all, I mean 100% of COs all hate the job. But they all stay there. They complain all day, every day. You would get there at 2:30. Well, I was working 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. So you would get there at 2:30 to punch in before 2:45, and then you have to be at your post by 3 o'clock. By 2:30, everybody's walking from their car into the building, and you just hear people complaining already before they even walked into the building, before they even punched in, before they even got their job for the day. Is it 11 o'clock yet? They were famous for that line. Everybody hates that job, but not everybody, but majority of people stay past their 25, 30 years. Some people do 40, 50, 60 years. It's insane. It's because they make it so comfortable for you. They give you all the benefits. They give you a decent pay. They give you 6 weeks paid vacation annually. They give you a lot of perks. So they make it very comfortable, and it makes it harder for you to leave.
And does time just go by faster?
What do you mean?
Time. When you're working at a job like that.
You know, I guess it depends what your post is, because if you have a very active post, your day is flying by.
Yeah.
But then there's also very boring posts where you're inside of a little not a cubicle, like a metal cage with windows, and then you're like controlling gates. That day drags out. That day really drags. 8 hours feels like 16.
Yeah.
And then there's mandatory overtime. So let's say you're inside of this cubicle. I keep saying cubicle. Inside this
I get
jail.
you. Yeah.
And 8 hours feels like 16, and then they call you on your 15th hour and say, oh, the officer that was going to relieve you called out. You're there for another 8. Imagine that. And that happens all the time because nobody likes that post. People call out all the time. So now it's like, wow, my 8-hour shift that felt like 16 is about to feel like 32.
Damn.
It sucks.
So when did you get that? By the way, you said cubicle. There's
saying cubicle.
there's a lot of 9-to-5 jobs that feel like a prison. So like it's not a stretch at all.
You're right.
So at what point when did you get this epiphany, or was it an epiphany? Like, you know what, I can't.
It was 2018. I met a friend. He became my roommate, and he was into self-development, and he was into investing. He was into trading stocks and all this stuff, and reading books and listening to podcasts and all this, bettering himself. And I was just a demon living inside of a prison, partying and drinking myself to sleep every night. And it's like, what's up with this guy? What is he doing? What is he reading? What is he listening to? What is he trying? What is he striving for? Like, I didn't get it. I was planning on just being CEO forever because I had no idea what else I would do. And then I started just picking up on the things he was listening to and reading, and it all just started developing, and it just opened my eyes to this guy's bettering himself, and he is the most important part of his day. What the hell am I doing? I was living in Yonkers, working in Fishkill. It's an hour drive each way, up to Taconic. The Taconic, when you get up north a certain distance, there's no more traffic lights. There's no more lights on the parkway. In the nighttime when it's snowing and I'm driving home, speeding home so I could drink and party, it was a demonic lifestyle.
How long did that take, though, for like, this guy who's kind of getting into your life with,
Few
I don't
months.
know, like, a few months?
It might have been a
It's
month
just
or
like
two.
kind of oozing into your mind slowly.
Opened my eyes. I was like, "What's going on?" I would
Yeah.
tell him, "Let's drink. Let's party." Nah, I got to go
And
to
you
sleep.
never, before that, you never had like any inkling, like, maybe, this isn't my life.
I hated it, but like I said, they make it so comfortable.
Yeah. So you
And
were
I
at
had
peace
no
with it.
idea. I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I accepted it. Yeah.
So you said that you were kind of like living a movie, right?
Oh, it's definitely
Like,
a movie.
Yeah. And I know that, and by the way, I know this because your website is very mysterious. And it's like, hey, I do content creation. If you want to hire me, do this or a podcast or whatever. And then it's like, Dominican, Yonkers, he likes movies. It's pretty much your website. just Cliff Notes version. So, but please check out his website.
Please do Franjez.com.
But what's it called? I mean, movies are a big deal. And when I was on your podcast, we kind of went into this a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about movies and like what they mean to you. I mean, we kind of content creation is what I love. Listen, if someone, gun to my head, but not in Yonkers because murders are down, gun to my head, said to me, and by the way, no bullshit here. If someone, like I have said this, probably the same thing, and I love to write and I love to do so much of the stuff that I already do and interviewing and talking to people. But gun to my head, if someone said to me, what is your dream job? It would be choosing the music to movie trailers.
Wow.
That is my dream job.
To the trailers.
To the trailers of movies. I think it's amazing.
It's
it's
a
like,
difficult job.
It's very difficult, but music and movies, like movies are here, music is right behind. I'm getting caught up in your microphone. Movies and music, like they are my two passions. And just combining them into, like, when I was a kid, Fat Kid in Yonkers, escape for me was always going to the movies, because for the 2 hours you don't have people making fun of you, or you're not making fun of yourself in your head. I can eat as much popcorn as I want, and
It's dark. Nobody's judging me.
But yeah, and I would always look forward to the trailers, and a good trailer hooks me, and 9 out of 10 times the trailer's better than the movie. So that would be my dream job. So movies, you tell me what it means to you, because movies, a good movie, I just saw a good movie a couple of weeks ago, and it reminded me of like why I go to movies. There's this independent movie called My Old Ass. It's literally called My Old Ass. If you want to see my old ass, DM me. My old ass, it's called. I just wanted to say that out loud and then pause. I don't know why I'm playing to the camera. I didn't do that last time. So it's all this wrestling talk, so I'm being such a heel. But anyway, no. So it's called My Old Ass. It's like a coming of age movie, but it's done really cool. But anyway, like movies for me are escape. There's so much bullshit always going on. You chose to work in a prison. That's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
But I mean, like for me, that's what movies are. Pure escape, and takes me completely out of my brain. So tell me what movies do for you.
You know, I don't know if I would call it an escape for me. I love them. I idolize them. I even have tattoos, of like certain things from movies. I'll show you afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's like, I do love them. I love writing too. I've written and filmed a few short films. They're on my YouTube channel. Check it out, Franjez. Okay. And my biggest one that did the best is actually called A CO's Life. And I'm actually in the process and dragging it out of writing the full feature film.
Nice.
And where I got so far was, and I love based on true story. Those are my favorites. Mm-hmm. Second best would just be anything that's realistic. Training Day is my #1 favorite movie of all time. So Goodfellas, Scarface, stuff like that. Realistic movies are my favorite. So A CO's Life is this kid, and he's like 21 years old, and his father's a sergeant in corrections. And he looks up to his father. And his father knows his son will never amount to half of what he is. You can't survive in here. The kid wants to prove to his dad, I can do it. He passes the academy, makes it into the prison with his father. His father puts him through hell to show him, you're not about this life. The son, in this altercation with an inmate, goes so hard he accidentally kills this inmate. Now the father's like, you're one of us. We're going to cover this up. Don't worry about it. But now you have to do everything we say and everything we put you to do. And they put him through the ringer. They're putting him against his morals. And at the end, the movie blows up. The whole show blows up. And when everything settles, it's going to be a dramatic end.
Wow.
Yeah. So movies in general, you know, I don't know. I don't know how I would describe my relation and my feelings to movies. I love movies. I've always loved movies. Comedies. Jim Carrey was huge. Van Damme was huge in my childhood. Scarface, like I said already. Goodfellas. I don't know.
So going into like what we're doing now with like content creation and interviewing people and whatever, does that play into it like at all? Like you're, growing up watching movies, whatever, or making them or whatever.
Yeah.
How does that inspire you now? And then tell me how you got into this.
So inspiring till this day, I'm the same little kid. I love creating, and when I see something cool, I want to make it. It happened to me recently, a few days ago. Somebody in the influencer group, the guy that makes art with dice.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to do that. I was zooming into the photo to see how he does it. I'm like, I could do that, and I would love to do that. That looks like fun.
Yeah.
Because you get to play, and then you have to stand back to see what to fix, and then you get closer. I'm like, I've been thinking about that every day since I saw his art and the prices. I'm like, I could definitely do that. And also, to this day, everything that I'm really intrigued, I definitely want to do, and I know I can do it. And what was the original question?
How you got into this?
How I got into it. We had a camcorder in the house. My mother always, for her birthday parties, pretty much, she'll record a home video. And I was 12 years old in Mark Twain, my eighth grade year. And me and my friends would hang out after school, and I would bring my camera out. And we created our version of Dumbass. No, Jackass. We called it Dumbass.
Nice.
And I created this whole film. Let me tell you real quick how I created this thing. My mom's camcorder, which takes the VHSs, that type of camcorder.
Yeah.
I would set it up in front of my television in the living room. I would take the VHS from what me and my friends did, put it in the VCR, press play. A clean VHS in the camcorder with the VHS in it. Camcorder, VHS camcorder. I would press play to the part I wanted on the one that's recorded, which would play on the screen, and then I would press record on the camcorder to catch that part. And then we cursed a lot, I didn't want my family or my teachers or anyone hearing us curse.
Right.
So we had this 5-disc CD changer, and we also bought, it might have came with it or we bought it separately, a CD reader cleaner. So it was a CD with a little brush at the bottom. So when it spins, it actually, and then when you press, you have to put it in the CD player and press play for it to clean.
Right.
So when you press play, it just goes beep. So I said, every time we curse and I'm recording, I'm gonna unmute it.
I love it.
So I had it playing on mute, and then I would unmute it, beep, and then remute it. So I'm playing on the VCR, recording in the camcorder, and beeping.
Do you still have it?
I still have that tape. It's a VHS still, and I don't have a VCR, but I want to transfer it.
I'm sure Costco could do that for you.
Do they do it?
They do.
Oh, perfect. I got to get it done.
Dude, you're not alone. I have those silly things.
So, yeah.
I don't have dumbass, but I'm sure I have. I definitely have, like, oh my gosh.
Home videos, or what did you used to do with them?
Yeah, I wish I could say like I was like, I'm talking like, man, yeah. I'll just say I have them still, and they're on DVD because I went to Costco and got them transferred.
Nice.
I
gotta do
definitely
that.
have them. You should do that.
Yeah.
So, and then how did you get into this whole
What?
world of what we're doing?
Well, that was the beginning. Oh, you mean influencer food and stuff?
Yeah, food and
It
stuff.
all started. I already had the podcast going.
When did you
and-
start that?
The easiest way for me to calculate it is this week, episode 72 comes out, and I drop one every Wednesday.
Okay.
So 72 weeks ago.
Why Wednesday?
I don't know.
Just picked a day.
Yeah, I
Seemed
definitely
about
picked a
right.
day, but the
Yeah.
weekend seemed a little too hectic for people. The middle of the week, maybe that's why. The middle of the week
Makes
is hump,
sense.
is hump,
Hump
day.
day.
You're
Yeah,
getting over
makes
the hump.
sense.
Nobody has anything to do. There's no really good. I was
And
going to say
you're-
good TV shows. There's not even TV anymore.
Yeah, there's no TV.
There's not much to do in the middle of the week. That's
And your
it.
Wednesday gimmick just kind of, you saying Wednesday just kind of came on?
I
Became a
used
thing?
to release it whenever I was able to. So it'll be a Tuesday, a Monday, a
Yeah.
Thursday, a Friday. So it'll be like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And I'm like, you know what? Let me hone down a day and a time for myself.
Smart.
Since I'm going to be doing
Yeah.
this consistently.
Yeah.
And Wednesday just stuck. You know, there's Taco Tuesday, there's Thirsty Thursday, Friday, everybody can't wait to get off work. Monday, everybody's mad that they're at work. The weekend, they're trying to enjoy themselves. They don't want to see me. Well, all we have is Wednesday.
You know it's not really taken?
What's that?
Sunday. Because Sunday's a horrible day.
Wow. Why? Because you're thinking about the
Well,
week?
well, look, I know people like go to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
But aside from that, everyone's just like the weekend's over. I feel like Sunday is really, it's weak.
It is.
It's just like,
Yeah.
so like you can't really claim a Sunday, but if you wanted to try to rebrand Sunday, you can. But I don't think anyone's podcast is really going to save Sunday.
Yeah.
So I think Wednesday is
yeah.
probably a good move.
I like Wednesday. Yeah.
But yeah, so okay, so you started a podcast. How did you continue with it? Because I've had a lot of stops and starts with my podcasts. I'm always doing a million things.
That's
You're
why.
always doing a million things though.
I am. I prioritize the podcast.
So the podcast is a priority.
it's number one.
Okay.
Everything else can wait. Everything can wait a
Okay.
month even.
Yeah.
But Wednesday, it can't wait.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
And how do you stay on track with everything? Because you have a day job, right?
Yep.
And how do you find time for everything?
After work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have it down to a little routine. Friday nights and Saturday mornings. Friday nights into Saturday mornings, I'm editing the coming week's podcast. By Saturday, Sunday, I'm creating the promo. I'm sending it to the guests so they can review it if they want anything cut, if want any changes. And then by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm releasing promo. I already put the link. There's a secret that I don't even know if anybody knows. As soon as I finish uploading an episode to my YouTube channel, I put it on my website already. And on the link tree in the Talk About It with Franjez Instagram, I put the episode there. So everybody can watch this the weekend before because I start putting it everywhere. I send it to the guest. I get everything ready, the description, the hashtags, the tags. And then I have to think of my Wednesday clip. I try to be a little different here and there. So, yeah, it's Friday to Wednesday. It's work.
Yeah. How many hours do you think you put into everything?
I have it down. I have it down to a good, solid work. On a good day, I could edit a 1 hour podcast in 2 hours.
Okay.
And then all the clipping and editing and all that stuff, we can add on another hour and a half. Let's say 4 hours to be safe. 4 hours a week, consistent 4 hours of work. But I break it up here and there,
Jumping back, why did you start the podcast? Like when did you realize like, hey, I'm going to talk to people? It wasn't like because you were locked up in a prison all the
it
time,
came
was
many
it?
years after.
Yeah.
So I had a friend that had a podcast at Yonkers called The Short End of the Stick.
Okay.
He wanted me, the person he originally started it with, bailed. He was looking for co-hosts and all that good stuff. And he asked me for like a month straight, like, come, give an episode a try. And I'm like, I'm not into that stuff. I don't want to. And this is how I really am. When I commit to something, I'm all in.
Yeah.
So if I commit, that means I'm going to be there every time you film. And that's a lot of commitment. And I'm not sure if I'm ready to do that for something I'm not even sure if I care about. I started doing it. I started enjoying it. He stopped doing it. So towards the end of him doing it, I started this one actually. So I just continued mine. He stopped his, and I just continued mine, and it just kept going. And like I said in the beginning, when I commit to something, I'm all in. So yeah, I'm stuck now. I'm Wednesday to the death of me.
What do you get out of it the most? Like, what do you enjoy about it? And then, like, how do you pick your guests? I mean, you chose me, so I know that there's very low bar. Obviously, a very low bar that you set.
I don't know if you know, but you're probably top 5 episode, bro.
Oh, yeah?
You could tell by the feedback you've gotten alone.
Yeah.
And the feedback I've gotten alone. The wrestling stories are incredible. Maybe that's why, because I was such a wrestling fan.
Yeah,
that's why that episode, I was intrigued. And that's the best part about podcasting for me is learning about the person. I guess that's what it is. But I care a lot about conversation.
Yeah.
And the best way to communicate, sadly, the best way to have someone talk a lot is about themselves. People love talking about themselves, and they know themselves more than anybody. They could talk about themselves the most, especially their story. So a podcast about the guest is always going to work.
Yeah.
It was a loaded question. What was the other part of the question?
But yeah, I'll go back. But what I always like, so like I kind of know more about your background than I let on, but I always love to hear from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I mean, even if it's been, I mean, I've interviewed a bunch of people and whatever, but like, even if I know the answer, I want to hear it again, but from a different way, if that makes sense. So like, you can interview, I mean, you see like all these celebrities who are on like Colbert, and then they do whatever, Kelly the next morning, whatever. And sometimes it's the same story, but if you hit them at a different angle,
it's up to the host.
Yeah. If you hit them at a different angle, you'll get it a different way.
That's what I do. I try to watch if my guest has had other interviews.
Yeah.
I'm watching all of them because I don't want to ask the same question twice. And I want to learn about them so I can ask a deeper question.
So, yeah, and I want to touch on that about your approach. What I said was what you get out of it, right? I think it was a loaded question. Like, what do you personally get out of it? How you select your guests. So those are the 2 questions. And then just like, how you take on your approach. I mean, I always joke about with you, like, it was just like, so what was it like interviewing, what was it like writing Jimmy Snuka's book? Do you believe in God? So like, I always joke about that with you because that was like, it wasn't a segue like that. It wasn't a segue like that.
That cut, but it was like that. But it was like that.
I did like a little shift. It was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So it's always good to like kind of catch them off guard.
Absolutely.
Like, speaking of Jackass, I interviewed Johnny Knoxville.
No way.
A long time ago. And I could tell that he was getting the same fucking questions over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
So I asked him something and he's like, and I was like, do you think Rick Moranis is underrated? I just stopped and I asked him, do you think Rick Moranis is underrated? He goes, do I think Rick Moranis is underrated? He goes, that is the best questions I've ever been asked. And we just went into a whole Rick Moranis conversation.
There you go.
And then he became alive and then we started talking.
There you
so
go.
Like, sometimes you just gotta pound them.
Yeah.
So anyway, I asked you like 7 questions wrapped up in one.
So what I get out of it, I get out of podcasting, I kind of answered it where it's like, I want to learn about the person, but it's really the conversation. I love talking to people. I love picking brains. I love expanding our minds, bouncing ideas off each other. Just good conversation. Overall, good conversation.
And then how do you pick guests? Do you just is it just kind of? I mean, you're out there a lot, so you're meeting a whole bunch of a wide variety of different people. But is there like a particular guest that sticks out? Like not a particular person, but like. You know what I'm saying? Like not a particular person, but like
the particular person
or
the particular person. It's hard to really wrap this in words. People ask me this all the time. It's hard for me to say, but the best person is someone with a story. Someone that's been through something, overcame something, has a goal, achieved the goal, is on the way to achieving it, is living it. So that's why it's usually artists, creatives,
Yeah.
you know, people doing something, being about something, people with a story. Something inspirational for the viewer will be the best.
Right.
And that's it. And people reach out to me, and I reach out to them. A lot of social media has helped a lot. A lot of networking events has helped a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, networking is the best.
What's the biggest challenge been like for you in terms of like keeping this going or doing social media, editing, any of this shit?
The editing definitely is my least favorite part now. I used to love editing back when I didn't edit a lot. Now I'm editing very often. These food reviews. I'll go to these food reviews and record maybe 40 minutes of footage to bring it down to 10 minutes. It's a lot of work, and it turns me off. And sometimes I blame it on laziness, but I don't know if it's laziness.
I don't think it's laziness.
My favorite part is filming and eating and talking to the people and doing the whole experience with people. But then I'm home alone editing. That's not the fun part. Doing it was amazing. Sharing it is nice. Giving people, the experience, the behind the scenes kind of look at it, that part's amazing. But the editing, I'm falling out of love with.
Do you feel the same way? Because I feel the same way after I do a podcast where it'll be 25 minutes, half hour, whatever. And I feel like, man, all that matters is a 30-second clip on Instagram.
Oh, I never think like that.
And that bothers me. I do think that way. It bothers me. I feel for the most part, I'm like, no, I'm doing this because it'll find an audience and it's enriching my life and my guest's life and hopefully other people's lives. The reality is, for it to find an audience, it's short-term clip. Right now, this is what I'm doing. And that's frustrating. And it is hard because that is it's a real thing.
When I ask somebody if they watched the episode, which I stopped doing it because I know nobody does.
Yeah.
And now when people just tell me, oh, I saw that one. Oh, that guy. They're referring to the clip.
I know.
It's a 2-hour episode. You say you saw that one?
Yeah.
That's a slap in the face to me.
Yeah.
But I've learned to accept it. A lot of people don't want long form content.
I guess what I've accepted it, but what I really feel happy about is if people present it differently. So if they're like, oh, I saw a couple of clips, looks really good, I have to listen. Even if they're bullshitting me, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You can bullshit me, that's okay.
If it's a compliment, yeah.
Because it's still a compliment, I'll take it.
Definitely.
Or if they did actually listen to it, wow, amazing. Because they're actually quoting something not from the clip. Wow, holy shit.
That's usually a big deal.
Yeah,
when they quote something,
It is.
Or they say a guest's name, like, oh, I watched when.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, you actually did pay attention. Like you remember the name even. I know you really paid attention.
But ultimately, you put in the work, and it'll pay off. I'm still a big believer in that.
Definitely.
So, what's your earliest memory?
Wow. Off the top of my head, when you asked that, this might be it, which is sad because I wasn't even that young. It was before kindergarten, so maybe I was 4, maybe I was 3. I was on New Main Street, my mother's apartment, across the street from Orza, the bakery.
Yeah.
And she, the grandkids are over. She wants to cater to us whatever we want. Hot dogs are not a Dominican food, but I loved them as a kid. And whenever I went, she would make me a beef hot dog.
Nice.
And I remember it being different because at home, my mom would get like Oscar Mayer, the regular one, which I think is pork, but Grandma always got the beef ones. So I feel like that's the youngest memory I have in her house, in the kitchen, and she's making me the hot dog.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
I like that. When you just told me that story, could you actually smell the hot dog?
No. But I could taste the difference because I remember the big difference between the beef hot dogs.
Yeah.
Like the ballpark, I think, is beef, right?
Yeah.
That tastes so different from which we always had in the house was the Oscar Mayer ones. And remember the Oscar Mayer with the cheese?
Yes.
That was good stuff.
That was good stuff.
When the cheese leaked out, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
Did you used to boil them or how did you used to cook them?
I think I boiled them.
We used to boil them, yeah.
We boiled them.
Yeah.
Wow.
My mom used to freeze them though because Dominicans are very paranoid with like bacteria
Okay.
and all this
Well,
stuff.
that's not terrible. I mean, people are absolutely crazy on the other end of the spectrum.
But if she knew how much preservatives were in it,
Like
it was gonna last a while in the fridge.
It's like this hot dog fell on the floor or like fell in a pile of dog shit. It's fine. You can eat it. That was growing up in the 80s. It's like, oh, I have a bone sticking out of my arm. You're okay. that was the 80s.
Robitussin.
Yeah,
Some
that was
Robitussin.
fine. Talk to me about where you see yourself going. I'll be honest. I feel like for the first time in my life, I'm not sure. Like I feel like I know. Okay, I want to do more of the podcast. I want to interview more people. I want to do these events. I want to do what we're doing right now, but in front of an audience, which I'm doing. But like, where do you see yourself? Like,
I don't know.
back
I
to
don't
back
know.
to the corrections facility.
Definitely not corrections. I would love to make a living off of the stuff I enjoy doing and not edit. Maybe if I could delegate the editing, have an editor, that'll be a goal.
That'd be
That's
nice.
a nice goal, right?
But you'd still have to oversee it, right?
If I have a manager that would help me with all the stuff I don't like,
Yeah.
I guess that's the goals, because
Yeah.
what I enjoy when the dust settles is doing the stuff, is filming the communication, the food review, the travel vlog. I enjoy the doing, not the editing. So if I can make a living off of my content creation and I can get an editor, and this is one of my biggest goals in life, to have a driver. I've been driving since before I had a permit, and I'm sick of it. I like driving when I want to,
Yeah.
not when I have to.
It's funny. I could see it because driving stresses me out just in general. I don't know if that's part of it.
Yeah, I guess.
It's
You
just
can't relax.
always on edge. Always.
Always.
I mean, I'm going to clients here, I'm going there, and then I got to rush back to get my kids, and then
Parking alone. Everywhere you go, you got to park, pay for parking. What's the time limit? What is it? Only a 30-minute meter, hour meter?
I guess it adds to the stress of there always being something, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, okay, I just did this podcast, but now I got to edit it. Oh, but I got to post it. Oh, but now I said every Wednesday I got to post and I got to make this and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then you add that other layer of parking. And then you add the other layer of traffic.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm going to call back to my episode with you where I say, like, don't fucking honk at me when the light just turns green, right?
Yep.
Like, you add so many different things. Like, everything is just so, like, and I could see it.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah. That's my dream. Even just Uber. If I could just conveniently afford to Uber everywhere, even to the airport, which sometimes is ridiculously
That's not a
expensive.
terrible, like, goal.
I know. It's doable.
It never even entered my mind, and I love it.
Because if you think about how much you spend on your car,
Yeah.
maintenance, insurance, registration, gas, whatever else, parking, tickets that you accidentally get
Right.
in a month. And then how much would be Ubering around to those places?
So I enjoy driving it's usually when I'm heading north for like some clients because typically there's no traffic and I'm just listening to a podcast and I am literally just unwinding and it's calm. But around here, and here's not Yonkers, just murders and fires here. Nothing to see here in Yonkers.
Keep driving.
Sorry, nothing to see here. No, but like, I mean, Lower Westchester is what I mean. Like traffic fucking everywhere.
Yeah, it is.
Not to say it's fine north. It's just I'm talking where I'm going.
The more north you go, it's just less congested, less traffic.
Less congested.
That's
but,
it.
But I'll
The
tell you
further
something.
down you get,
I'll tell you something. Since COVID, everyone lives here though.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
even up north, it's like, if you go in like even like toward like Danbury, Connecticut. Not going to Danbury, Connecticut, but if you're kind of sort of going around there, forget it. So I actually like this idea.
and you know how much work I could get done in the back
know.
seat?
Yeah.
With I use my tablet to edit,
Yeah.
like reels and stuff. I'll be back there killing it.
Or you're not doing anything and you're taking care of texts or you're taking care of emails or you're doing your engagement stuff for
Yep.
Instagram. You're taking care of stuff that would have normally you've been doing, on top of something else that's stressful. How do you deal with stress? How do you deal with?
Man, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So during my self-development, when I met my friend, before I left corrections and I started self-development, let me take it back a little further. I hated reading. I hated everything school. I never read a book until I got to prison because there's a lot of downtime. Like I said, there's really boring posts. So it's actually contraband for you to bring a book inside. I used to have to sneak it in
Really?
the bottom of my bag, under my lunch, under my raincoat, and
Wow.
all the under gloves and stuff, the bottom. So because they're afraid if it's a book that might enlighten an inmate that they don't allow inmates to read, they get a hold of it and they might cause chaos.
Okay.
So they're like the inmate library is very like
Yeah.
they know what's in there and they know what's not allowed. It's insane.
Wow.
Everything matters in prison.
Yeah.
Every ingredient and every food item, every detail is insane. It's insane. But so my self-development journey started. Okay, in prison, I used to read memoirs. I love true stories. To this day, I still love memoirs. The first book I ever read, Tucker Max, I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. You ever heard of this book?
Yeah.
You read it?
No.
Okay,
I've heard of it, though.
great. It's great.
Yeah.
Way better than the movie if you've seen the movie.
Okay.
So I read that. Hilarious. I bought all his books. I'm in prison dying laughing. I loved it. I'm like, I feel like I'm not even here. It was great. And then I started buying more memoirs and memoirs and memoirs. And then I met my friend that's into self-development. Then I jumped into self-development books. That's when everything changed. Now I'm not just reading people's lives. Now I'm seeing how I could change my own life. Woo, that's a good one. So
Say that again.
I forgot it already. Oh, I'm not reading about people's lives. I'm learning how to take care of my own life. Or better my own life, whatever.
That's your People magazine quote.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that. People magazine.
Yeah.
I like that. So, how I deal with stress. Psychedelics help me a lot.
Yeah.
Psychedelics, mushrooms specifically, psilocybin, it helps rewire your brain. It helps you stop worrying about the things that don't matter. Kind of like Stoicism. I also read an amazing book, The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday.
Yep.
Every day, well,
Is that the same guy who's got the page on Instagram? The Daily Stoic?
yes, that is him.
Same guy.
That's
okay.
him, Ryan
Yeah, I follow
Holiday.
him all the time.
Incredible book.
Yeah.
And in a nutshell, this guy studied philosophers and created 365 pages of breaking down philosophers' entries so it can make sense to the everyday person. That book is incredible. And it's all based on Stoicism. Stoicism is not worrying about the things you have no control over, in a nutshell. So that book, amazing. The psychedelics, amazing. It rewires your brain and it really sheds the bullshit you shouldn't be thinking about. All the shit that doesn't matter, it just gets rid of it. It helps you realize, why am I worrying about that? This has nothing to do with anything. I'm dwelling on this thing, and this thing isn't even real. The past isn't real. It happened. It's not happening anymore. Get over it. All these, I could talk for days about this stuff because I've read so many books and I've helped myself so much and I'm trying to help other people. So I definitely say psychedelics. I definitely say self-development books, Stoicism, a lot of philosophy books. I'm not religious at all. Grew up Catholic, didn't believe it. I just didn't want anything to do with it. Ever since I started jumping into the self-development lifestyle, I guess, I started looking into religions a little bit. Especially I started off with Christianity because I grew up Catholic. So seeing like, is this even real? I didn't believe in any of it, so I just never even cared to look into it. Then I started studying Jesus lately. That alone can help somebody get out of stress and horrible situations. When they say, what would Jesus do? I just thought it was like a corny phrase back when I didn't care and didn't believe.
Yeah.
Now it's like, Jesus lived through love 100%. That's what he's known for. That's why he's the most famous person to ever live. He constantly lived through love, forgiveness, acceptance. Nothing is wrong. Everybody's okay. We're all equals. We're all brothers and sisters. We all should be getting along. Like it's none of this negativity. Let's just help each other. That's all he was all about. He traveled doing this, spreading the word, helping as much as he can. He wasn't perfect. He used to drink. His wife was a prostitute. The females that used to travel with him were prostitutes. He hung around with anybody. He really believed in the forgiveness and the acceptance. So all that stuff bundled up is what helps me get through everything and every day. Even when I feel negative about something, I have to realize I'm not affected by this. It's just my feeling and my reaction to what's going on. But it's not really affecting me. It's how I'm processing this shit.
How long did it take you to get to that point?
Man,
You're
so
probably
let's say 2018
But you're probably
it started.
still not there, though.
Definitely not perfect.
Always a work in progress.
Always a work in progress.
Yeah.
But I love where I'm at because I'm to the point where I just want to keep seeking and keep learning and keep growing. So I love where I'm at because
Yeah.
I want more.
That's awesome.
I don't feel like I hit a ceiling and I'm like, oh, perfect. I know everything. I'm godly. I'm living amazing. I'm positive. No.
There's a lot of people who are there in their head.
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolute majority, I feel.
Yeah.
Even religious people.
Yeah.
They think, oh, just because I say I believe and I read the book
Yeah.
and I go to church, I'm amazing. I'm perfect.
Just
But-
because people see me in church means that I'm there. Like, there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
I'm here, so...
Yeah. 100%.
By the way, that's not just church. That's anywhere, temple, wherever. I'm
Definitely,
just saying.
definitely, yeah.
Just my appearance here is enough.
Absolutely.
Got to put in the work.
Absolutely. So
That's
it
why I'm not
started-
religious, by the way. I think I said this in,
Yeah,
in my thing.
Yep.
You can't
A
half-ass.
bad Jew.
Did I put it in air quotes?
No, I did.
Oh, you did.
Because it's from that episode.
Okay. Oh, I love it. You just air quoted your own podcast. I love it.
Oh, you got to.
No, but like, you know, I and someone actually said this at the gym the other day because I was like, oh, I'm a bad Jew. They were like talking to me about like the Jewish New Year, and I was like, nah, I'm a bad Jew. I don't do it. And she goes, you know what? I don't think that's real. She goes, I don't believe in God.
Whoa.
She goes, but I celebrate the holidays because I think, and Judaism, like she goes, I believe that religion is more family than God. She's like, so I don't think that there's a connection with bad Jew. She goes, I think religion's what you make it. And it was interesting because that actually, because usually people like have the same reaction, bad Jew, and they like, and I laugh too. I say it, but she actually said that, and I was like, And I like never heard someone say it like that. No, wait a minute, no, I don't believe in God, and I'm Jewish. And I was like, wait a minute, you're a bad Jew. Something. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Anyway, no, but yeah, I mean, to my point, like I feel like a lot of people, there's too many people who are the opposite of you, who just are so narrow-minded, who are just like, I know all there is. And I look at myself as I'm a work in progress. In a lot of ways, I feel like I'm just getting started. And that's about everything.
Yeah.
So that's enlightening, what you just said. Everything about what you just said. Even the stuff about Jesus. Like, Jesus is not in my domain, even though he was was he a bad Jew? Jesus?
No, maybe not. Well, I heard he wasn't really
Kind
practicing.
of being silly,
He
but
wasn't
like
practicing. I heard he wasn't a
I
practicing.
don't know how
Jew.
I don't know how that works. Like I know that Jesus isn't my thing,
Yeah.
but like I don't have where I get weird with religion is I feel like if you're all in, that's great. If you make it work for you so that people around you that you're keeping it up for appearance sake, that's where it like tunes me out. But maybe there's just like a happy medium that I can find at some point in my life. But for right now, I'm content with just kind of trying to find my way. And like, honestly, like the Stoic stuff, I followed them not as much as I'd like to. I'd like to be where you're at with them.
Read that book, man.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I followed them, but only on the Instagram pages. So like right now, they're lopped in with pretty much Instagram, you know, are the pages that I follow, and their words of wisdom will pop in. Because I have a couple of the Stoic things. And maybe it'll be the same thing like with your friend, where you get hit enough with some truth, it will eventually get absorbed. I will leave the proverbial corrections facility myself.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So just, anything else people should know about you and your services and what you provide? Because besides being Dominican and Yonkers and liking movies, there is more on your website that we should probably promote. Because I mean, I'm sure that there's something being Dominican can be, but beyond that, on your website, I'm just being an asshole.
Of course,
but
I got it.
But on your website, like I know it says Dominican Yonkers movie lover, but like you are, and I say this sincerely, like you are very versatile and you are very prolific.
Thank you.
And I want to at least get that out there. I mean, fuck, you post a lot of stuff, and not posting for the sake of posting, which I sometimes and a lot of people are very guilty of, because you got to post often. What should people know?
What should people know about me?
Yeah, that we
said
haven't
a lot
covered
today. I don't know. Let me see.
like that we haven't covered.
What we haven't covered. All right, so this is the new studio, the Yonkers studio. Music. I make music when I'm not when I'm. I wouldn't say bored. I wouldn't say feeling. Yeah, I guess when I'm feeling influenced to make something. Maybe when something happens.
Okay.
A lot of my music is like heartbreak, and then some of them are goofy little like stories and stuff that I created. It's rap, more rap based.
Okay.
And behind the cameras is a whole recording studio. I partnered up with my friend. His name is Cause, and he's an amazing engineer and beat maker and all that stuff. So now being so close to him in this space, we're definitely going to create some more music.
Cool.
That's something we definitely haven't touched on today. I started doing that in high school. I started making beats on Fruity Loops. You know that program?
Yeah.
I started making beats there. They were all horrible. And then I stopped, and then I never got to see where I would have went.
Yeah.
I used to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hell out of making beats and writing to them with my friends and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
So now just once in a blue, I'll make a song. I'll make the video too. I'll record it myself, put it on YouTube.
I think that there's beauty in doing things that you enjoy that you're bad at to get better.
Yeah, 100%. You won't get to the next one until you push the first one out.
I mean, I remember creating my own website blog on WordPress and completely fucking up the code over and over again. And I was on the phone with Bluehost, I think were the hosts. Can you backdate it? Because I messed up this in code and I thought I destroyed my site, and I messed up. It happened at least 8 times, but I taught myself code.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, there's beauty in kind of just fucking up and learning. And
Yeah.
yeah. You're a dad, by the way.
I am. My daughter turns 17 on Thursday.
Awesome. My daughter's 6 on Thursday. I'm not saying it as a joke. I'm saying I love that they share a
spoke about
birthday.
it. Yeah, it's great.
What's your biggest joy being a parent?
Biggest joy. You know, the teen years are not a lot of joy. It's a lot of...
So I hear.
It's a lot of... I don't want to keep telling her everything she's doing wrong, because that's not what kids want to hear. So it's like... I guess my biggest joy would be, you have to lead by example, especially these teen years. They're influenced by everything wrong, especially. They love doing what's wrong. So lately I've been finding enjoyment in showing her, not only just telling her and preaching to her and in one ear and out the other, just showing her. I live alone. I have her on every weekend, have her every holiday, all the good stuff, and just showing her the right thing to do. And I'm constantly preaching to her, just do the right thing. Choose right from wrong, and life is easy. Once you do right and you're always doing right, you're surrounded with more good people. When you're around negative people and you're doing negative things, and you're just going to keep surrounding yourself with that type of life and that type of people. So I preach these things. I try not to be a dictator with it, like do this, don't do that. I try to lean back on that, show her more love and positivity, and show her what it's like to be a functioning adult, because she's going to be an adult soon. So I wait for her to come over to clean sometimes. I'm cleaning so she can see what it's like to take care of a house. I'm
nice.
cooking. I'm
Okay.
going to bed, taking her to school, waking up, doing this and that, and, going to events and coming back, telling her about it,
How similar are you as a parent to how your parents were?
I'd say I'm more like my mom. My mom was very, not was, she's still around. I mean, in my childhood times, she was very, she ran the household. The cooking, the cleaning, the scheduling, the everything. So I definitely took after that. My father was more laid back.
Okay.
He was more chill and laid back. And yeah, she took care of everything. When we were sick, when school time, like literally everything, doctor's appointments. So I took after her with that stuff, and that's how I'm around my daughter,
Cool.
taking care of things.
Nice. I asked this of all my guests at the end of the interview. You're like, John, don't go. John, stay.
No!
Please don't go.
Oh man.
So if people came with taglines, like in movies, what would yours be?
Oh wow. Man, that's a tough one. Man, I would need some time for this one.
It's tough, right?
It is.
I had like one person not answer, and I had like only one other person like answer right away. And I was like, what? Really?
You know, it'd be hard to come up with a whole tagline, but I know it would have to do. I think my biggest strength is patience. Prison definitely helped me with patience. Being a father definitely helped me with patience. Being in relationships that were toxic definitely helped with patience. And I guess it was really the prison that helped me out with patience. So I don't know. Something with patience. I don't know.
I mean,
I was wild. I was into stupidity, living a demonic lifestyle, and now I'm peaceful and patient. Something like that.
yeah, that's good.
I like it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I'm taking my time to ask like another question because you said you're patient.
Yeah. I like that. I can sit here all day.
I think that's it, dude.
It was amazing.
Thank you, man.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you for popping the cherry of the Yonkers podcast.
I love it.
I mean, the Yonkers studio with the first podcast.
Let the murders and fire begin.
Patience, love. Treat everybody with love. Treat yourself with love. Treat yourself good. Another great mindset and a quote I've heard is don't speak bad about yourself because your subconscious mind doesn't know when you're joking.
My friend always, my best friend, always says that. Be kind to yourself. What did you just say?
Don't speak bad.
Don't speak bad. Your subconscious is listening. He always says that to me.
It was actually Mike Tyson I heard recently say that.
Yeah?
He says your subconscious mind doesn't know when you're joking.
Yeah.
It's just taking in everything that you hear. Everything you see, everything you hear, everything you believe, your subconscious mind is taking it in and is not even thinking twice about it. It's just taking it in.
So another thing that I keep saying, and this is fine, we can just like use this for clips or whatever. Like another thing that I keep saying on podcasts to guests is this be kind bullshit. People buy stickers, it's a meme, whatever. People just do it, they put it on their page and they feel good about themselves. They don't mean it.
Definitely not.
It's bullshit. So I have a Be Kind t-shirt that I got like before COVID that I used to wear and people were like, oh, I like your shirt. And I got it because it's like, I'm an empath. I really care about people. And like, I got that shirt not to be ironic. And now everyone fucking does it. And they don't mean it. It's just another one of these things like thoughts and prayers when like there's a school shooting.
Oh, yeah.
But what I've started getting people say to me lately is be kind to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
People haven't said that. So that's a new one. I've had 2 people say that to me lately.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, but
Be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself. The world we live in worries me. And with my kids, and I mean, your daughter's only 16, 17, worries me.
Oh, yeah.
Because no one gives a flying fuck about anything but themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They just don't care. They just don't.
Crazy times we're living in.
Yeah. There's no self-awareness. No one can read the room. Like, it just
No one cares to read
no
the room.
one cares. And it's just like, and honestly, sometimes I'll be honest, it gets tough, like with social media, where it's just like, I know what I'm putting out there. You're guilty of this too, in a good way. I'm trying to like provide value for myself because I want to feel good about myself, but also hoping that people out there will find it's rewarding.
Absolutely.
And then there's other pages where it's literally like, let me suck my own dick for a little while. And I see their followers. I see who, you know, like maybe they're wearing a t-shirt that someone paid for their post and shit like that. And that is just like getting to me. And I don't let it get to me all the time. But sometimes when I have bad days, I pile on. Like I'm not one of these people that's just like, oh, let me snap out of my bed. No, I want you just fucking, I'll pile it on. I'll actually seek out like those posts and I'll look for them and just feel like shit for a little while. I will. Because I would rather like, let me get it out of my system. Let me look at everything that's bothering me and then start anew like later on.
Yeah, you got to get it out.
Just get it out. But it's frustrating. It's like, spend how much fucking hours on this podcast? It's a lot.
It is.
And you want people to watch it.
100%.
Anyway.
What are you going to do?
Watch this fucking podcast.
This was a great one. Comment, subscribe, like.
Love.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks.
Peace and love.
Wednesday.
There you go.
I like that.